Hello, welcome to the farm. This video is about Whitie and the tree cavity that she discovered. But first, some background. In January or February of 2012, we heard about an Anatolian Shepherd puppy mill rescue situation in northern Mississippi. There were a dozen or so dogs that needed rescue and placement in loving situations. We called up and said we could help. We ended up bringing home 4 dogs. That was almost 14 years ago. Of that group, Whitie, more Akbash than Anatolian Shepherd, is the only one of those dogs that is still with us. We figured she was about a year old when we brought her home, which makes her about 15 years old now. Rather old for a dog of this kind. She still gets around, but is definitely slowing down, and her rear legs and hips do not work as well as they once did. Some number of years ago, she was retired from livestock guardian dog duties and became one of our porch dogs. Whitie is sharing the porch with Thor, another rescue dog, and with a cat named Charcoal. Charcoal is even older than Whitie, and he is really starting to show his age. Like some of our other dogs, Whitie is very concerned about thunderstorms. She has a doghouse on the porch that she uses, but when lightning and thunder get too close and too loud, she thinks she needs more shelter. When we are around and able to react quickly enough to the approaching storm, we would bring Whitie inside the house. We have a dog pad she would go to, but even when in the house, if the storm was too close or too loud, she would start crawling behind furniture and make a mess of things. And that's Leo, our inside cat. She was rescued off the street when she was a kitten. So we have a safe spot to put Whitie, a crate in the laundry room where she would relax and sleep during the storm. At least we thought it was a safe spot until she got her toes caught in the wire floor and couldn't get loose. The only way I could get her out was to cut the wire and release her toes. There were times when we weren't around or we couldn't get to her in time when a storm was approaching, and she would disappear. Often she would be gone for a day or two after the storm and then reappear. There are lots of places for a dog to hide around the farm, and while Whitie was gone, I would look all over the place for her. To the south of the house is a drainage area with a lot of brush and tree growth. We would often see her leave in that direction, but she would disappear quickly and I never could figure out where she had gone. However, one day I saw her heading off towards the woods, and I started following her from a ways behind. Before I could get close enough to see what she was doing, she had disappeared again. I figured she must be nearby somewhere, so I started a more detailed search. And then I found, behind some brush, a hole under a big yellow poplar tree. And around that hole was a lot of dog hair, indicating quite a bit of dog traffic through that hole. When I stuck my camera down in the hole, there she was. I had found Whitie's hiding spot. It's actually a rather large cavity, and it seems to stay dry during a storm. It's the perfect hideaway for a dog seeking shelter. The cavity even has a window, so to speak. Directly behind Whitie you can see a patch of green. That will be important later. The tin can was an attempt to provide Whitie with some water while she was hanging out under her tree. So with Whitie happily ensconced in her tree cave, I went to get my trail camera to see if I could record video of her coming and going. So there it is, mounted on a little tree in front of the hole. And here's Whitie, ready to go in the hole. I'm really surprised she can fit herself through this. And remember, this is an old dog and her hips and rear legs really don't work as well as they used to. So watching this makes me feel kind of uncomfortable. But she does get herself inside, and once inside, she's quite comfortable inside under the tree. So the next morning, after the storm has passed, Whitey starts sticking her nose out and checking to see if it's safe to come back out. It takes Whitey about a minute to get herself in under the tree there through that hole. Coming back out, it's a much more arduous process for her. Once she commits to working herself back out of the hole under the tree, it takes her about 3 minutes to actually come out. The problem is trying to get that right leg up over that root that's sort of blocking that part of the hole. Of course, her back legs don't work as good pushing as they used to, but she eventually struggles her way out. I've removed about 1.5 minutes of Whitey's struggle to get out of her cave. This is obviously an unacceptable situation for Whitey, and what I do about it is covered later in this video. So she's finally got her front right leg out, and she can start working her way further out now. With both front legs out, it doesn't take her that much longer to get herself all the way out. And off she goes to get morning breakfast. It's not a very big hole, so I need to open that up a little bit. But if we go around to the back of the tree, there's a back door, and I put a piece of cardboard over it during the storm. But there's a bigger hole here. There's some dead wood that I can clean out, and I think that would be a better hole for Heidi to access in and out. I'm going to try to clear out a better access hole for Heidi. This is the back door to her under the tree house. This is a yellow poplar, sometimes referred to as a tulip poplar because of the tulip-shaped flowers that it puts out in the spring. But it's a nice big old tree. I don't want to really injure it very much, so there's a lot of dead wood here that I think I can open up without really accessing too much of the actual tree, live tree. Open it up enough where Whitey can more easily get in and out. I've got my electric chainsaw. And a dirt scoop. And I'll clean out this a little bit here first. Well, I'm cutting through some live wood here also, but I think it's a much cleaner, it'll be a much cleaner wound that the tree can recover from than the mess that was here, so I hope it'll be okay. This is all open underneath here. So with a bunch of sawing, prying, and cutting, I make an opening that will be better for Whitie to use to go in and out from her tree cave. One of our typical thunderstorms is going on, and here's Whitie in her tree cave with the new easy access opening. It's the next morning, and I go down to check on Whitie. She's already out a little bit, looking around, and she starts thinking about coming on out. She still has to get her rear legs together. They don't work as well as they used to, so she's got to coordinate getting her front legs out and getting her rear legs underneath her and pushing a little bit, and mostly it's like pulling herself out with her front legs, I think, at this point. As I mentioned before, Whitie is an old dog, and I'm not sure how much longer she's going to be with us. You know, the veterinarian said that she'll have her good days and she'll have her bad days, and you just has to do an assessment on how she's doing. But so what we want to do is, while she is with us, we want to make it as enjoyable as we can for her. She mostly stays on the porch or in the vicinity of the house. She does get up and walk around with the other dogs, and she will add her voice when there's barking to be done. So I think all in all, she's doing good as a dog, as good as a dog could do, I suppose. And she's got a safe place down in the tree house. She's got a safe place up on the porch. We let her in every once in a while when we can. Got to fix that inside crate somehow. So here's Whitie's new safe spot, and looks like she's about ready to come all the way out. She's almost got it. There she is. Comes over and says hi.
Good girl. Atta girl. Come on.
And then off she goes. Starts heading back up the trail. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed Whitie's story. We certainly have enjoyed Whitie's presence on the farm for all the time that she has been here. At the right here is a link to another video about some of our other guardian dogs.